Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Lili Nishmasi Mimarasi Rispas Mordechai. Motzi Shabbos at the Baltimore satellite location. Look at this, over 10 people. It's unbelievable. Baltimore. The Zeitlin boys also making an appearance in Vegas. I don't want to know. Knicks versus Daf Yomi, the Daf wins. Staten Island satellite. Is that a remez? I don't know. I don't want to ruin it for the Oilam. He doesn't care about the Knicks. A guy let him Toira. Staten Island. Check this out. Givaldig. Doyle doesn't care. This is a very confusing email. The guy tried to translate it for me, line by line. It's my first time learning the Daf every day. I reached over 40 days in a row since I was introduced to him by Rabbi Baruch before a decade or something like that. I learned the Daf sometimes, never on a daily basis. I never really connected the English here. So the Hebrew stepped up to learn the Daf more often, but not steady. Then right before Chullin, I saw the clips of a good friend of mine, the legendary tour guide Itzik Leibowitz. I just jumped in. My boy said it's 1 week from now. You're going to miss me. I know you're going to miss me. I'm going to be gone for a long time. The whole thing was a shtickle off. Going for 2 weeks. I just bumped in, Bemet. I have charata. I just jumped in the deep end and didn't wait to start the beginning of Chullin. I started the day toward the end of the Bekitzer, he got 40 days straight. That's the Yisoid. He got 40 days straight. And this is the second person in 2 days that told me he started doing the Daf because of Itzik Leibowitz and the guy's statuses. He does statuses wherever, for every waterfall, every place he is, he does a status. I reached over them in a row. Okay. This one is in Hebrew. I'm going to have to try to translate. It's 5 in the morning. I didn't go to sleep yet because I'm trying to figure out the last 10 years of my life. I just found a little notebook which I wrote down that I sat down when my wife was in recovery after she gave birth for her son. Bris was on a Friday of Shabbos, Zachar, and then was Purim. First time I heard about you was the 28th of the month. I don't remember what year, but it was basically by Pesachim, and I learned it wasn't Ritzifus. But from Tezai and other, he wrote this down. Daf Chof Ches and Ba Metzia. I'm with you every single day. I started learning through YouTube, Zoom, in Hebrew. Now he asked that I shouldn't say his name because his brother-in-laws do the shir. Most of it I learned in English because I wanted to brush up on my English, which that's the Sfat Em. I'll call upon him. Now, during Kachim, I started learning in Hebrew. 2 days ago, I started learning with somebody on Zoom, Chavrusa. Why is he so excited? I learned with you 9.5 Masechtas. And before I knew you, I learned 11 Masechtas. So, anyways, Yiratzon. I don't know, but kids, this guy's up, middle of the night, I don't know what this is. He's up 5 o'clock in the morning, doing Cheshbon and Nefesh. Then he finished 9.5 Masechtas. Givaldik. Now, how do you get this to go? Huh?
Put in a picture.
Oh, it's a picture, not a video. I thought it's a video.
This is the guy doing the Cheshbon.
No, this is the kid. He does. Rabbi said join MDY, and he got 2 people to join. Yesterday, I read the second row from the left because the second column because Noam Fix was in here. Because Noam Fix is here, so I'm going to read the one on the left. Michael Chessel, Moshe Brown, Amudim. Rabbi said all Amudim are sold out. Baruch Hashem. Oh, it's not. I feel bad. 245 people now. People. I don't know what they're going to do for $720. What else can you get for $720? Oh, you can do share.
I'll share my I'll share.
But you don't have an Amud to share.
No.
Which Amud is it?
They didn't tell me a number.
That's the whole point. Parsha, it's my Parsha.
Next thing is Bini Amudi.
What is it?
Bini Amudi.
But in between. Okay? You got Amudim and he got the Bein Amudim. Moshe Brown, Moshe and Hindi Weinberger, Moshe Warga, Moshe Kinsbursky, Moshe Clearcover, NG Hassett, Noam Fix, Nachum Dosowitz, Pinchas Fiber, Pini and Esti Leibovitz. I said your son before you.
You did.
Yes. But it doesn't go in any order. I don't know what's going on there. Pinchas Fiber, Pini and Esti Leibovitz, Rafal and Rachel Katan, Reuven and Gitti Epstein, Ronald Kagan, Razan Jaffe, Sam Eidler, Sam Kleiner, Sarah Navi Sherman. I recognize a lot of these names. Sarah Rivka Vezelbu, Shalom Cohen, Shalom Sokol, Shaul Hecht, Shimon Graus, Shmuel Tesler. All these people, Shmuel and Sarah Roth, are all going to be embroidered on the mantle Be'ezer Hashem. You see the last name on the second column? Zev Belsky from cheermarket.com. I don't even know if he's part of the shir. He does shir. Amud, Favos Nisht, be part of Klai Yisrael. What?
That does a shir.
When he comes to Israel, he sits over here. But I don't think he's part. I don't think he does the shir like Maldi. No. He's part of the shir. Yeah. He's part of the shir. But he doesn't do the shir. He's part of the shir. He has a live shir that he goes to.
Sponsor the magnifying glass to read all the names on the mantle.
You worried? You getting worried? Who cares? As long as it's there. Oh, here it is. Somebody wrote it in English for me. Very good. Now that after I read it, it's all in English. The official edition of the MDY Shas, the Masechta Zevin Yal Sholof, Perek, Ilan, Emery, Davidovich, Lenishmas Yishai ben Aaron, and Yocheved Chava Itel Bas Avrom. To remind the Olam that Ilan, Emery, Davidovich, they bought the name of the Sefer Torah for $100,000. Shkoyach Godel. Daf Mem Hey, Moses Lachman, for the merit of my daughter, Miriam Bas Fradel, to find her Zivug Bekorev. Amen. Look him up. If his daughter is anything like him, it's a Mord the Geshidduch. Chaparain. David Salman, dedicated in memory of Avi Mori, Reb Shmuel Baruch, the whole Masechta, the one and only corporate sponsor, E-Copier, Reb Shmuel Baruch ben Reb Chaim Tzvi Doiv Zechron Levrocha. The Policy Foundation, gratitude to Consortium and the Alliance and all they do to support MDY. Anonymous. Hatzlacha Baruchnis, Uvigashmis, thank you to Chief Benny, Shmuel and Ahuva Schuster for continued Hatzlacha and Nachas from our children. Amen. Anonymous for complete refuah shleima and arichas yom to Leah Bas Esther. These are all Masechta sponsors. Ben Yomin and Daniel Rosenfeld, Abrias v'Zimcha. Monthly sponsors: Ari Simon, refuah shleima Avi Maria Baruch ben Miriam. Anonymous refuah shleima for Rabbi Yerucham ben Yehudis and Avram Yishaya ben Slava Dvara. Amen.
Ari Rosenstein is sharing my Amud. He just committed.
Wow.
There you go.
Geschmack. Anybody want to share Ari's Amud?
Wow.
The Spanish share sponsors.
What is sharing? He's sharing a share.
I got to share.
Debbie's sharing mine.
Doubling up.
No, we should really, no, seriously. Give every single person an Amud, tell them what it is. Each person should get their Amud, and then decide if they want to share it or not. Like this.
What does that mean by sharing?
A parsha. Did you buy anything yet?
Yes.
What?
What word?
Word. So, what word? Let's say, what? Yisrael. You brought the word Yisrael. So let's say somebody else, his name is Yisrael, and wants to share your word. Do you let him buy that word with you?
So does he pay the same amount?
Yeah.
Same amount. No, he's not going to get a deal now. Once you're in, you're in. The other guy pays even more sometimes. We had a guy, seriously, it happened. The guy paid for a parsha, and the other guy paid even more than him for the parsha. It has to be minimum as the original. The Spanish Shir, this is a weekly sponsor. The Spanish Shir sponsors in honor of the first three Bachurim in the Mexican satellite location: Shmuel Yehuda Abramchik 15, Moshe Leniado 15, and Inon Greenberg 16. Reuven Klein, in memory of Sarah Ratza Bas Baba Peril on a yard site, Chav Zayin Sivan. Daily sponsors. Happy 70th birthday to Dr. Eli Weinberger from Montreal, from his children and grandchildren. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, yesterday also we had a happy 70th birthday for a woman. 2 in a row. Mazel tov, Dr. Eli Weinberger.
Kobe wants to share his Amud.
Who?
Kobe wants to share.
Kobe.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what his oven is yet. We're going to organize it right now. Monthly. Innovations LLC as a schus for Akiva Simcha ben Fega and Rivki Yehudas Bas Yafa Chaya. You know what? We should do a poll. I said that they should sell the klaf of every parsha, just the klaf part. And somebody bought all the klaf of a whole chumash, my official. But for some reason, Mark Ashkenazi decided that it's not something to sell, the klaf. Only the whole thing, not one parsha. So if anybody's interested in buying just one parsha, let Mark Ashkenazi know that he's wrong. Or you can let him know that I'm wrong, whatever, either way. Kinnovations LLC has a schus for Akiva Simcha Ben Fega and Rivka Yehudis Bas Yavachaya. There's a lot of 3,600 people, 3,600ers, and there's not a whole bunch of stuff to do right now. They're looking for stuff. Refuah Shlema Yonatan Eitan Ben Besheva Bracha. Refuah Shlema Mordechai Ben Esther. Refuah Hayeled Daniel Zev Ben Ayeled Esther. My boy said this is a serious Elu Treifas Daf. This is like, wow, that is choshev. Choshev.
Bigger than here.
More people in Monastrich than in the mothership here in MDY. Akiva Ziegler, Chaim Peretz Levin, Eli Dykman. Oh, because Peretz Chaim. What is it? This shot is the pizza. That's what it is. We'll start giving pizza in the morning. Okay. That's what it is. That's what it is. They come at 1 o'clock in the morning because they get a free drink. No way! They're going to learn Torah. You came to a great shir. Not this shir. The daf is great. We're starting out with a little of Agadata, and then we're moving on to a lot of different animal parts. We're going to learn about them in great detail, from head to toe, literally. Omer Rav Chizda, like 12 lines from the bottom, maybe more, 2, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 lines from the bottom. Eizu Talmud Chacham. Who is considered a Talmud Chacham? A Talmud Chacham, says Tosfos, is a person who, no? Isn't that where we're holding? Yes. You hear? Nachman, who's a Talmud Chacham? A person who that doesn't have to give simanim when he loses something. He does Tfias Ayin. I recognize this thing, it's mine. A person sees his own animal and he looks at it and he says, this is a treifa. Instead of trying to be meir heter and coming up with every type of heter in the world to eat it, he says, no, I'm going to be machmer, I'm not going to eat this. That's the Talmud Chacham. Vomer Rav Chizda, I just chapped something in Tosfos. Maybe. The pshat is, when he is so good at distinguishing between a treifa and not a treifa by looking at it, so he could rely on his eyesight, on his tfias ayin, for a simon also. Okay? What does it mean? I hate gifts. He says that this animal is a treifa, I'm not going to eat it. So he had a gift. He could have taken it for himself. No. Anybody that learns Chumash, Shtay Mikra, understands it well. V'shoyna, he learns Mishnayos. V'roya treifa la'atzmo, and he looks at his own animal. He says, "This is treifa. I'm not eating it." V'shimish Talmidei Chachamim. He went ahead and he served Talmidei Chachamim. The Gemara constantly talks about. There's something learning from a book. There's something doing physical shimush to a Talmud Chacham. I once had the schus of bringing me and Noam. We're bringing Reb Asher Weiss. We were talking to him, and then all of a sudden he says in the middle, he says, "I got to go be Menachem Ovel. You want to take me?" I said, "Yeah." "You have a hat?" Because I wasn't wearing my hat. I said, "Yeah, I have a hat in the car." So he says, "Okay, great." So, and I went with him, and then he told me what to do. He says, "You got to go like this. You got to go like that. You got to make room for me." The whole zach, I had no clue. It's like he gave me directions. I went in, Boisai. Rav here got him a seat, the whole thing. He didn't tell me, he was miramis, certain things, like how to do it. It's not something you could read about, or this was on the spot. And they told Noam, "You can't take me," because Noam didn't have his hat with him. In order to be a shamash of Rabosh, you have to look. And we went into a real from play. Everybody's wearing hats. You could come in. I'm a dervish, a goy gomer, a faker, a guy with a. Yes, am I exaggerating here?
Nope.
Okay. By the way, Reb Asher told me that he didn't see the shir yet. To my luck, this is the shir he's going to watch. Huh?
Rashi has a different pshat.
In what? Oh, let's see. What over here? Yeah. Where? Oh, Gemara. The entire time Mishnah Mishnah says so. Very good. I like that. You're right. Rashi says it means to learn Gemara, to understand how to resolve contradictions in Mishnayos. So it's a Talmud, because the Gemara talks about Mikra, Mishnah, and she's like, "Thank you, Givaldik, beautiful." All of Akosav Omer, so forget that scratch that whole thing. I hope he doesn't watch this year. What Amars? Didn't look in Rashi. He says over a story about me. All of Akosav Omer, Yigia Kapecha Kisoichel Ashrecha V'Toiv Loch. The hard work from your physical hands, you're going to eat Ashrecha v'toiv loch. Rav Zvid Omar, what, there's a good Gishmaki song for this? Rav Zvid Omar, Zoiche v'noichel shnei olamois. You get two worlds, ha'olam hazeh v'ha'olam haba. Ashrecha ba'olam hazeh v'toiv loch la'olam haba. So last night, I was struggling, I remember the story, but I was struggling to get the details. And I said the last word, and Benji was here, and Benji helped me out this morning. So I was concerned, maybe I said the story too often. It's a very famous story, and I love the story, and I know I said it. I have a raya that I said it. I have a raya, and I'll tell you the raya soon. I'll tell you the story first. I'll tell you the raya. I don't know when I said it, but I'll give you the raya that I said it often. So the famous story of the Rebbaran Kotler, they were collecting money, and a big Gvir told Rebbaran, he says, I support so many Talmidei Chachamim, so much Torah, I have a tremendous place in Olam Haba. And he's talking about a Gvir, back then. Today it's the private jet, the mansion, the whole thing. So Rebbaran Kotler looked at him, he said, very good, you have Olam Haba, but what's going to be with Olam Hazeh? So he says, wow, what are you talking about? He says, Olam Hazeh, Talmid Chacham sits and he enjoys learning Torah. He sits benachas. You're worried about this deal. No, you're constantly worried how you're going to pay the mortgage and how this and how that. Olam Hazeh you don't have. Shkoyach you have Olam Haba. What about Olam Hazeh? I went on ChatGPT to check out the lashon of the story. Now I left my phone in the base medrash, so usually I ChatGPT from my phone. So I had to do something new. So I go on a new ChatGPT and I do this. So it says, yes, you may have Olam Haba, but where's Olam Hazeh? And he says on the bottom, there are several versions of the story in circulation, and some are attributed to other Gedolim. If you heard it from a shir, for example, from Eli Stefansky or another speaker, I can try to track down the exact version you're looking for. Maisa Shahaya. I'm like, I guess I said the story once before. That was a little scary when I saw that. Wow. What?
Mike Tress was sitting next to Aaron at a Goody convention.
Yeah.
He said, I'm a Kanir, Aaron said to Mike, I'm a Kanir Olam Haba for everything you did.
Yeah.
Mike said, I'm a Kanir Olam Hazeh.
So you changed the story around a little bit. Okay, good. Zog the Gemara. Rebbe Lozer Kavi, I wonder, try it out from your phone, see if it works. The same thing. If he, who said, say, no, right. Who said the story lately of this? Who said the story? Ashrecha b'olam hazeh v'toilach le'olam haba. Rebbe Elazar ki have mishadri le mibei nesiya midi le'shakal. When the Nasi of Klal Yisrael, also a wealthy person, would send him like a gift, he wouldn't take the gift. And when they invited him for a meal, he wouldn't go. Again, like you don't want me to live? I don't understand. You're trying to kill me here. If you hate gifts, you live. If you take gifts, it seems like you don't live as long. Says Gemara Bzeira ki mishadri leili shakil. When they sent him a gift, he wouldn't accept it. A nice golden bottle of wine, a nice silver cup to drink from. They wouldn't take it. Kavim Mizana, Sefer Torah, that's different. That's for the tzibur. It's pasha for the tzibur. I'm taking it. Kavim Mizana le'yazal. Kavim Mizana le'yazal. But when they would invite him, he would go. Rabbi say, imagine if the Chavetz Chaim ate in your house. Is that a schus for him or a schus for you? I mean, who wins over here? The Gal Adar sits in your house. You're a chassid and the Rebbe eats in your house. The Admar comes to visit you and eats a little Shabbos by you. Who benefited here? You or the Rebbe? You! Omar! Is it what?
He just said it's Rav Shach.
It is Rav Shach. It's Rav Shach. It's not Rav Shach.
It's Rav Shach. It's Yakuri with him. It's Yaakov.
It's not. It's Stira.
Tusim. He's not in ChatGPT. He's in another thing. He's in I don't know what. What? Gemini. Shkoya. It's Yakuri with the Yaakov. They have covered by the fact that the Hana is there is not mine. Omer Rav Yehuda Omer Rav. Okay, so here we go, Rabbi Isai. We're going back into Chullin, hands on. Omer Rav Yehuda Omer Rav, Nikva Kenapo Mitzdarfim Leruba. If you have, I have to get my stuff. Could you take out the knife, please?
I have to hold it for you.
I don't know what happened to my. So we were discussing the trachea, the kana, the windpipe. So we know that if it's open roiv, more than 50%, it's treif. Now what if it's not open like this? It has tiny little holes in it, like this, let's say. Little tiny holes. These are pictures from the Kol Lashon. So how do you decide if it's a roiv or not? Says the Gemara, mitztarfim l'ruba. You take all the little holes, all the ear, and you combine them together. You do a calculation. How much if you put all the little holes together? You don't.
Holes like that. Like what's the?
I don't know what. Why? A worm ate from it. Or I don't know. Now it depends. If a worm ate from it, then it would be chaser. So the Gemara is going to discuss, and the Gemara is going to say at the end that it's not chaser. It's like somebody took a needle and poked it, but nothing's missing physically. It weighs the same. It has the same amount of flesh, just punctured in, pushed in. Like a matzah. A guy took a matzah thing over its neck. I don't know what, it was grazing and a bunch of thorns got it in the kana. So, if you also take the piece of meat in between the holes, let's assume we're just looking at the holes themselves, all the holes together, if it's 51% of the circumference of the kana, then it's treif. So I couldn't put the picture in because I didn't have my phone. But Akopanim, there's a picture. Maybe the editors will throw it in there. Oh, somebody put this in for me. Yishkoyach Gadol. I didn't see this morning. Somebody just put it in. Wow. Who put it in? Maybe Kobe? Who's up now?
Kobe's up.
What?
Kobe's up.
Yeah, but Mark doesn't have access to Kol Lashon. Mark is up. If it's Matzi Shabbos, it was like literally. So this is the Gilgoylas we're talking about. It's interesting. They use the thing of an animal. So it says if it has a long stretch, a cut like that, or little tiny holes like this, but say you get the idea. If it has a bunch of holes that together it's the size of Isser, so it doesn't give off Tumah, but it's not an animal skull, it's a human skull. Oh, fine, maybe just not. Now we know a skull without any other bones creates Tumah of oil. Now if it's missing a part of the skull, then it doesn't give Tumah. How much is it missing? Either a long cut in it, or even it has like a bunch of small holes. There's a shear called magdeach, like a old-fashioned drill bit. Whatever the shear is, and it's on the bottom, the whole thing, 3 millimeters, whatever it is. So if all the holes together have the shear of a drill bit, then it's not a real skull, and it doesn't give off the tumah like a skull. But it mentions here a shear of a magdeach. Now, Almo given the shear meloy magdeach. The meloy magdeach is darfin. You put it all together to see if it's the size of a drill bit. So ask the Gemara, Chanami given the shiura ki isar li isar is darfin. Over here the shear is here. This is an isar. Let's say pretend this is an isar. It's a type of a coin. Put all the holes together and see if it adds up to this coin. Why are you telling me roiv? What does roiv have to do here? There's a shear. Says the Gemara, you're asking the question because you simply forgot something. You forgot what Rav says. That what? It depends. There's a difference. Check this out. Beautiful picture from the Kol Lashon. If you actually remove the flesh, so then you add up all the little circles, or whatever they are, and see if they add up to this Isser coin. But we're not talking about that. But over here is just a puncture. The flesh is still there. Nothing was removed. Mitzvah from Laruba, then you do a roiv. Now, if we're missing, this is just the other picture of the ki'isr, you take all the little pieces that are missing, see if it has a hole that size. So here we have a windpipe that has nitla himena ritzua, a whole stretch of it is missing. Mitzdarefes l'gisr, even though it's, let's say, square, you take the whole surface area and see how much is missing. If it's the size of a coin, then we do it together and we say it's the size of a coin and it's treif.
It's Kobe.
It was Kobe, figured. Boy minei yishkoyach Kobe. Nikva kenapa ma'u has a bunch of holes like a sieve ma'u. Omerlei harei amru nekavim sheyesh b'hem chisarim mistarim l'ki. So we just said, if they're missing, literally took the flesh out, a worm ate it, so mistarim l'kisur, then the shear is the size of a coin. Sheyesh chisarim mistarim l'ruba. This is super interesting. Ba'oifa mai. Regarding a bird, what's the halacha? Because a bird, this isser is way too large for a bird. So, its whole pipe is the size of half a pencil. How are you going to use this isser? Isser is on something this size, you can do an isser. You have this guy, this is like a real animal thing. So isser makes sense, but not on a bird. So says the Gemara, what do you do? I heard this from Elazar. You fold it up and you put it on the opening of the trachea. If it fits in the opening of the kana trachea. Now I'm going to show you what it is live. It was interesting. You know, it happens to me a lot. I guess it happens to people. When I wake up in the morning, as I wake up, I get an idea. That's what happened to me on Shabbos afternoon. I took a nap. When I woke up, I said, I got to do this. I'm going to do this. Imagine you have a bunch of holes in this trachea right over here. So what do you do? Says the Gemara, and this is the trachea of a bird, okay? And ostrich doesn't even have this size, but this is just. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name?
Yaakov Ran.
From? Shalom Aleichem. And you? What's your name?
Arnie Schleider.
From?
Taos.
Kam ba'aretz.
Talos. Yeah, it's close.
I don't even know what that is. I don't get out a lot.
Far.
Yeah? It's a nice moshav.
10-15 minutes away.
Shalom Aleichem. Nice. Check this out.
Right across.
Oh. What you do is,
The drill.
I see you backing up. Okay, so what you do is you go like this. Oh. So now I took it out. I took the whole part with the holes is out. Now I take this. Oh. Today I did it better because I have this. This is what I drilled out. This is what I cut out. And then you take this piece and you see if it fits in this corner like this. If it's roiv or not. Is this roiv? What do you guys say? It's not a roiv. No way is this a roiv. It's not 51%.
Surface area or by radius?
Does it fill up? Not the radius, surface. Yeah, does it fill up the surface? I don't see it filling up. I took this piece from here. This is where I had all my little holes. I cut them out. And now I'm going to see if it fills up this gap. And that's how I decide by a bird. Because I don't have an isser. Great. That's very clear. Oh.
Should sleep more often.
So. Omar. I remember just so it's part of the magachir, this, that. One of the hard things I used to back in the day make a quick meal, go to sleep after the meal, and wake up mincha time. Sometimes I would Ma'ariv, the 7-hour geschmack. You know what I'm talking about? No, no more of that. No more. Those are good days. Maybe they were bad days. Those were bad days. So let's see inside. Mekaploi. Basically, you cut it out. You fold it over. The point is, umenicha al pi hakana, and you put it in the opening of the trachea. Im chayfes rei hakana treifa. If it fills up most of this opening, then it's a treifa. Vim lav kshera. Omar av papa v'simonach napia. Oh, so here's I asked Benny to get me one of these because, today you can buy for another 2 shekel, you can buy, it's already done, but people still use it. One of my neighbors uses it even though She could afford 2 shekels. She said for some things it's much better. But anyways, I was told you're not allowed to wash this. If you do, it could get all clumpy. So that's why it's a little dirty, but it's good.
Explain what you're talking about.
This is a sieve. This is, you put the flour in here, and you go like this. And in Eretz Yisrael, because there's a chashash of bugs, especially in Eretz Yisrael, people, I remember, even my wife back in the day when we got married, everybody was doing this. Today, what?
Put a spoon in it.
I didn't know about the spoon. Really?
2 spoons.
That's the tricks of Israelis. We didn't know. We're old the dumb Americans. So anyways, this is like the sieve. That what? This is like the kana. This is like the trachea. And you put that thing in the opening. To remember, you put it in the opening. Or other people can remember the way Stefansky did with the drill in the middle of the shear. Fine.
You can't talk through that.
Huh?
You can't talk through it. You strain your voice.
Oh. You'll enjoy the 2 weeks? You better be doing the daf, my friend. I'm going to fair you when we're done. Says Gemara. Nivchas al kedeles. I'm not going to do this again. I did it last night. Let me see if I can find it. No, not this one. This one. Oh, here. Nivchas al kedeles. Check this out. You see, it's closed. Oh, it was really hard. I don't know why. It was hard for me to cut. But if you have an opening like this in the trachea, but it closes. It's only cut on 3 sides, so it actually could close a little bit. So what's the halacha? Not like a soda machine that you open this up, or in Chicago, I don't even know if they still use that word, pop machine. Not like this way, but flat. Not this way. You have to see how much surface area this takes up. If it's the size of a isser, then it's treif. Nizdika, what if it has a slit down the length of it? Now the interesting thing about a slit down the length, if you think about it, what's easier for an animal to heal from? A slit like this, or a slit like on the screen down the length? What's easier to heal? Huh? Not straight? So no. This is harder to heal. Think about it. Every time the animal bends its neck down, it pops open. It just keeps on popping open and closed. So it'll never get a chance to heal. But when it's down the length, every time it bends down, it's actually closing. It closes. The tension closes it up. So memela, that's why we're very makel with a long a cut down the length. So when you read it, chuya means a single ring. But Rashi says no, a chuya over here means, this, according to the pshat that he prefers, it means 3 rings. So if you look in our Gemara, it doesn't even say 2 pshat, it just says chuya, 3 rings. That's it. No notes. 3 rings. Why 3 rings? Says Rashi, when you do tzitzis, we learned you have to do a chuya. Chuya means you go around 3 times. Chuya not. That's the basics. So the a chuya means 3. So Mela over here also means 3 rings. And so they said this over to Rabbi Yochanan. What are you talking about the Kama Rav? What is he talking about chuyas? Why do you need any rings? We're not concerned about a cut down the length of the trachea. As long as there's a tiny bit at the end, well, both ends, then we're good. You don't need rings. They said over to Rabbi Yochanan, you know, Rabbi Yochanan said the same thing like you. But what? I didn't know that in Bavel they know how to learn like that. Wow, very impressed. Imagine a giraffe. The entire neck is kosher for shchita. You're allowed to do shchita on the whole neck area of a cow. So if this is our cow, the entire neck. Just, what's the problem? Now that is a little problematic. Tabas hagdoila, let's just remember, if this is Tabas hagdoila is the last ring basically, and it's called a gdoil because it's larger and it goes around and around in circumference. It's all cartilage material around and around. Oh, I got a good picture here from Reb Weisfish. Gewaltige picture. Here it is. You see the cartilage all in a complete circle. You can actually see, I believe those are the chiti, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, that's a nice tabasik gdoil. So from that area all the way to the lungs. But where in the lungs? Listen to this. Tachtoina. How could that be? You go to the bottom of the lung? So the Gemara explains right away. No, the bottom, which is the upper one. What does that mean? So what? Here, let's just explain what he's saying. This is the lung. So it means the upper part of the lung. You could cut that trachea pipe to the first when you blow it up like a balloon, and it's obviously going to spread everywhere. So the first lobe, up to the first lobe. So why are you calling it tachtoina? The answer is because usually after you shecht an animal, what do you do to it? You hang it upside down. So when you're looking now, the tachtoina, the tachtoina now is the elyoina. You're allowed to shecht from the bottom of the picture upwards till that. This is called tachtoina. And we're going to do this another time also. It's not like a... What? Yeah, but you're looking at it afterwards. Where did he shecht? I understand, but you're trying to see, was it a good shechit or not? You're taking a look. That's what it's called. It's not the first time. By animals, the animal's always upside down. We're going to see it in the next sugi also when it comes to the chaz v'shoik. If the guy knows what he's doing, so he wouldn't shecht. Elamai, he shechted already. Now I want to check it. It's up there. What does it mean? Normal action that an animal takes. He constantly moves its neck up and down, up and down. So all that part of the neck that goes up and down while it's alive, it's mutter for shchita. Don't give it a nice yank and then shecht. Normal movement. In other words, don't pull out pipe from its lung and start shechting down there. Whatever is within the neck area of a normal motion, that's what you're allowed to shecht. What if it itself, today, in the shlachtos, they really pull that neck very unnaturally. So obviously they're not going to shecht all the way at the ends. It's just the center part is mamish dear for the shechting. But let's say it did it to itself. It moved its neck in a crazy way. It was trying to lick something off its back. And it started like pulling its neck. And then the guy goes, and he shechts it all the way on the, got its knife all the way in the bottom, next to the lungs. Is that okay? Teiku. What do we do in all the sugi? Rashi keeps on saying, Teiku means, we got to be machmer. You can't eat from this meat. Yosef, Teiku means, we got to wait until Mashiach. But right now, what do? You don't eat. Yosef, Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish, Nofak, Nilsim, Vinayu, they came up with the halacha, Onas b'simonim v'shochat, if he forced the simonim lower down, he forced them out of their place, so to speak, he pulled them out more. Psuli, not allowed to shechter. What if the trachea got punctured lower down by the, let's say, very close to the lung? Nidan kireya. Then it has a halacha like a lung. And what's the halacha by a lung? If there's a puncture wound of a mashu in a lung, then it is treif. So too, in this trachea, that part of the trachea is also like a lung, and a mashu is treif. We're mamish moving from thing to thing. It's unbelievable. Ezu chaza. We're talking about a shlamim. You give a shlamim. You have to give, when you bring a shlamim, you get to eat it, but you have to first give a gift to the kohen. Now this is not a cheap gift. Realizing now, this is a pretty nice gift that you have to give the kohen before you can eat anything. You have to give the chaza, the breast of this animal. What does it mean? Za'arayas hakarka. The one facing the ground. From where to where? Lemata adatzaver, all the way to the neck. Lemala, up until the keres, until the stomach. What does that mean? So Nachamal, here it is. Here's the picture. That whole red area is facing the ground. We're going up is on the picture to the left. Down is towards the neck. Why is it like that? Yoshi wasn't around, so we did it ourselves. Dave did it last night. I just added the thing. Up is the left arrow, is the red arrow. Down is the blue arrow. In other words, when the animal is hanging upside down, Yoshi would have done a lot nicer. So now the keres is up, and the neck is down because it's hanging upside down. Also, let's go back to the picture, not get dizzy here. So the blue area over there is the first rib. So Rashi holds they take one rib from each side, from the right and left. So that's called shteit slice. According to Tosfos, it's two on each side. You go two down. Who sent me a geschmack video of a Hasidic guy showing the slice? I wanted to put it in today. You did? Who sent me? Somebody sent me. Dirshu or some organization. OU. The guy's very Hasidic, and he's like, this the ribs, you take the rib, he's 1, 2, and he's like showing it, and it's very nice. The animal's hanging sideways. Mark sent it from Old Daf. Yeah, exactly. That's what it was. Okay. Shkoyach. But I don't know if it's going to get this way. I just remember he said 1 rib, 2 ribs, 3 ribs. But we'll probably have to use it at a different time. This is what we give a kohen. Next sugya. It says in the Mishnah, nikav krum shel moyach. If you punctured the membrane around the brain, that's a treifa. Rabbi Shmuel Damer Tervayu kroma ilah. There are 2 membranes. Now the problem is it's difficult to even see the membrane around the brain. Here's a great picture from Kol HaLashon. So you can see on the left, that's one membrane. You see that folded piece of skin? That's a membrane. This is the membrane around the brain. Now, why is it so difficult? Because it's clear. It's like a little plastic bag, a very, very thin layer of plastic, so to speak, grabbing the entire brain, puts it in its place. So it's pila abriya, how everything works. That brain, central nervous system, it gives it seichel, whatever, the whole thing, and it's protected by a little bag. If it has one tiny little puncture in that bag, Shalma Yisrael, maybe. The question is, which bag are we talking about? The one that's closer to the skull on the left, the folded piece of skin, which is the thicker and it's very easy to see, or the very thin one? Rabbi Shmuel Damer Tervayu, Kromi Law, if you punctured right through the skull into that thick piece of skin, that membrane, even though you didn't get to the lower membrane, you made this animal treif. I said in the Friday shir to the Israelis, I said, I can't believe that some people say that Elu Treifas is difficult. So a guest that came from Yerushalayim, he says, my father-in-law just told me today that he skipped Elu Treifas. It's not for him, it's too much. Like he did. But if you have all these pictures, you have all these, it has a name. Like people say, oh, Elu Treif is so difficult. I don't. Once you have all the pictures, and there's so many svarim out there that it started from Ramita ben David, Sichas Chullin. So that's that's a little older, the Sefer, but there's a lot of information there, and it's black and white. But then you have the Tmuni Chol, and you have the Kol HaLashon, you have all these svarim. Tmuni Chol, he has Tmuni Chol, here. Sure. That's a crazy Sefer, with all these great color pictures, and they clean it down, they take all the blood out. They made, like this, where was that picture of Lechi Atachton? They made it so nice. I was holding a Lechi, full of blood and everything. It looks like, they wash it down, air spray it, tight. Sanitize. What is it? Sanitize. Yavaldik. Anyways, I don't see the problem. Adarabba. I think it's easier than most. Wow, Dave. It looks almost appetizing. You know what I'm saying? It looks. I could actually look at this for a minute. No, because I showed the one of me holding it as like you can't even see you can't see the tongue or anything. It's all red.
But David said that his hands were dirty with Dam. Right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's normal. That is normal. We're going above, beyond normal. This is 2026. You could Photoshop a little bit, add a hin in there. Okay, great. So says the Gemara. Where are we? No, you need to puncture the bottom one in order to make it a treifa. This bag that the brain is in it. So that's the bottom, that's the lower one, that's the thinner one, the one that's hard to discern. You should know that the beitzim also have two membranes. Besides the outer pouch, there's two membranes. Here's the outer membrane, and here's the inner one. The inner one is it's like almost colorful. So you can see in a second, here's a Weissfish showing you the difference between the outer and the inner. The people that eat this stuff, they're mamish into it, whatever. So, versus the brain, by the way, I'm just going back to the beitzim, the brain is very hard to discern. That's what the Gemara is trying to say. That has different colors, so it's easy. The brain, it's very hard to see through. But in the brain itself, everything that's inside the skull is a brain. But if it's closer to the body, it's in the spine area, that's already like the Chut HaShadra. So what's the difference? Brain, what's the halacha of brain? How much do you have to puncture from the brain in order to make a treif? A mashu, a needle. But the spine is a roiv. You need 51% of the circumference of the spine, of the chut, not the spine. We're talking about the Chut HaShadra, which is the spinal cord. Because we don't care so much about the spine. The spine is not a big deal. People break vertebrae, it's not a big deal. When we were talking about the blue part, the Chut HaShadra. So, where does the brain end? Or let's call it, where does the skull end and the spine begins, the spinal cord begins? I wrote here in my Gemara that I was in Poland when I learned this Gemara. I don't know what I have to do. I have to check it out in the shir. But I call upon him. There's two Poland here. Beautiful. Another from Kol Shon. These are two guys right over here at the entrance to the skull. From that point on you could even see they show you where the spinal cord is. Here, you see that? There's an arrow. Spinal cord. That's where the spinal cord begins, and that's where. Is this making anybody queasy? No. Because Yoshi was all concerned that he said he's getting a little. One guy in the Hebrew shir said, "Yeah, it's making me queasy." Fine. So he says like this: Mina poilin v'lifnim. From those poilin, those two guys into the skull is all considered brain. Treif b'mashu. Mina poilin v'lchotz kilchotz. But anything from the other side is a Chut HaShadra, and you need a roiv. What about the actual two guys themselves here? What about the Chut HaShadra that's in between those two things? What's the halacha? Any idea? I really don't know. Says the Gemara, Mistaber kilafnim, and that's the halacha. It's like the brain. You have to be machmir and say even kimashu. Rebbe Yirmi, I have to do the sponsor. Turning of the daf by Adar Global Specialist in International Financial Services. Chaim Milrad, Lina Shmasimi Mirasi, Faretel Bas, Yitzchak Alea Shalom. Rebbe Yirmi, Balak Ba'if of Ashkach Kimin Shnei Poilim, he actually found in a chicken that also has these Shnei Poilim coming out of its brain. Munachim al pi agdera mamish there, right there by the entrance to the skull. Nikav alev lebeis chalol. It says in the Mishnah, if the heart was punctured all the way to the chamber inside. Check this picture out from Weissfish. Unbelievable. He was supposed to come. I was touched that all these people want to drive in from England, from here. I hope to see them. I call upon him. There's two chambers. He took a heart, chopped it in half. I hope you're not queasy. There's a larger chamber, there's a smaller chamber. Which chamber gets punctured? Says Gemara, Mamish looks appetizing. What's the question? In our Mishnah, it talks about a heart and it talks about lungs. Guess what? Look at this. What a beautiful picture. This is the lungs. This is the main kana that goes into the lungs. Then it branches off. Dr. Epstein, what are those branches called? Bronchi. Gewaldig. Bronchi. I'm going to need you because I remember you helped me out 7.5 years ago on this daf. When it came to the vena cava or something like that. How do you pronounce it?
The superior and inferior vena cava.
Vena cava, yeah. Okay, so we're going to get there in a second. Exactly. Those are the words you use then now also. He says about Nova, like fence there. Maybe, I don't know. Says Rav. No, I'm serious. If you're learning this and you're 100 years ago, something like God, something like, what's going on here? I don't know what you're talking about. But now we understand. There's the giant main pipe that brings in oxygen into the lungs. Then you have all these, it almost looks like a root system over here. Those are the smaller ones. No, what I'm looking for is a puncture in the main one. So the Gemara wants to understand that just like in the same, since they're both brought in the same Mishnah, and when it comes to the lung, we're talking about the main pipe. So when it comes to the heart, we're talking about the main chamber, not a side chamber, not the smaller chamber. Says the Gemara, what's the raya? So what's the connection? It says in plural. The pipe that all pipes lead to. That's only one pipe. But it says in singular. It says into to the cavity, not a chamber. Cavity. What difference does it make? What cavity? Cavity is a cavity. Memela, it doesn't matter if it's on the right or the left, small, large. If you puncture into a cavity, you made a treif. Kinei alev. So the artery coming out of the heart, something like this. A small little puncture wound in there makes it possible. Shmuel says you need most of the circumference. Hey, Niu Kinei alev. What is this? This is the fat that's on the walls. Says the Gemara, I don't understand. How could you puncture fat in a wall? Who cares about the fat? Why would that make an animal treif? So the Gemara says, no, you didn't understand. If you look closely on this picture, you can see fat all the way around the trachea as it enters the lung. Yeah, all this is fat. So what it means is the pipe that has that fat on it. That if you have a little puncture wound, that's matrifit. There are 3 pipes. Rashi says something interesting, and everybody struggles to understand what Rashi is saying. They're saying that's not the Metzias. He says there are 3 pipes that come out of the heart, from the trachea. 3 pipes that come out from the trachea. One, he says, Chad Parshal Liba, Chad Parshal Reya, Chad Parshal Kavda. One goes to the heart, one goes to the lung, and one goes to the liver. So they say no. What Rashi meant to say is there's 3 major arteries. One is the aorta, how do you pronounce it? Aorta. And the vena cava, whatever it's called, b'chulu. Pulmonary artery. Kitzer, there's 3 major arteries. One really goes through the liver, one goes to the heart, and one goes through the lungs. So what's the nafkamina to us? Why do we have to know this? He says the reya kareya, any pipe, this pipe that goes through the lung, we have to treat it like a lung. Just like a lung, a small puncture wound makes it a mashu, makes it treif. So when you look at the pipe, also a mashu makes it treif. The kavda, but we know what makes a liver treif. When you remove the entire thing, if anything remains of the liver, it regenerates, so it doesn't make it treif. So too, whatever that pipe is that's going through the liver, you have to remove the whole thing in order to make it treif. The kavda, huh?
It's not just removing the liver; it's removing the pipe also.
I'm talking about the pipe. I'm not even talking about the liver.
But I'm saying, if it's considered like the liver, you don't have to remove.
I don't think that's true. He's saying it's a pipe that's like a liver. It's not the liver. That's what I think. I might be wrong. The liba pligi, but when it comes to the heart, we have a machlok, is it mashu or roiv? Rav is going to say mashu, Shmuel is going to say roiv. Mar Baruchia masni ibcha. Mar Baruchia says the opposite. The reya, he mixes this up a little bit. The lung is like the liver, and you have to get rid of the whole thing in order to make it treif. The kavda kareya, but the liver is like the lung, then a mashu is treif. The liba pligi, that I'll give you that in the heart. Rav says a mashu and Shmuel says a roiv. So he said over what Rav holds in the heart, that even a mashu makes a treif. If that's what he said, he doesn't know anything about treifas. Now it's interesting to point out that the Gemara in Sanhedrin says that Rav wanted to know what a mum oiver is, what a not a mum oiver. He parked himself in a barn for 18 months. You can learn a lot from this. He went into a barn, lived in a barn for not a day. Some of us would do it for 10, 15 minutes. Max. He got a bed, got himself some food, and a Gemara, and a lamp, and lived in a barn. 18 months. To understand what a mum is, what not a mum is. Just to be the mumcha. And he says, if you think that that's a treifa, you don't know anything about treifas. I'm just saying, there's not a person that stam, it was all his whole life in a mismarriage doesn't know what treifas. He lived in a barn. You don't know anything about treifas, says Shmuel. Well, I think we do pass connection.
Right, exactly.
Shmuel's a doctor. Okay, yeah. Nishba Shidra. Let's keep on going. We have 4 minutes. Nishba Shidra Torah Rabbanu Chuda Shidra Shenifsak. So now we're going back to the spinal cord, which transfers all the nerve system in the body. It's a very important piece of equipment. It's very deathable if you Chuda Shidra Shenifsak Beruboy. You have to cut a majority of it. I'm not a doctor. If I had to guess, if you asked me, I would say a little puncture in a spinal cord, bye-bye. No more walking, I don't know what. He says no.
That's what a lumbar puncture is.
Who? What?
You do a lumbar puncture to check somebody, make a hole in the spinal cord.
Through the nerve system? Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't want you to be my doctor. And they said that looks like Rabbi Yaakov that even a mashu. Ravuna says Ravuna, ain't a loch Rabbi Yaakov. It's not true. You could puncture like Ari says. It has to be a roiv. But what's a roiv? There's 2 ways to look at it: the circumference, the skin that holds everything in place, or the inside nerve system. Rabbi my roiv. Why did I write here meningitis? I have no idea. Where's Doctor?
Lumbar puncture. An LP.
Lumbar puncture is a sac. You puncture the sac.
Right, but that's what you check for meningitis.
Is it the inside, the nerve tissue inside, or it's the outside? The inside, because the inside seems like could heal. The outside, once that's cut, then the animal is a bye-bye. It's a goner. But if you say that the outside skin, most of the outside skin was ruptured, what about the inside if you messed up the inside? Tashma Doma Nivli, and I looked this up, it's the only time in Shas that he's brought down. Omer Avuna, Rubai Shom, but I looked up Shav Shmaitz, I said Shav Shmaitz is brought down only now Gemara. So this guy sitting here, he says, no, it's also in Sanhedrin Samach Gimel Am Beis. What is Erev Mem Gimel, he says, this older fellow over here. And it's not the first time he throws out dapim. He knows. I don't know. And we looked it up. It wasn't Mem Gimel. So he said, no, you're wrong. He said, Shav Shemais twice. Erev Mem Gimel. He sat right in your seat. What's his name? Weiss? He knows his stuff. I don't know. Yeah? Everybody knows him, Weiss. Okay, good. I guess I apparently Doilam knows him. So we have to ask Weiss if Nivli is the only time. And I did look it up. I looked in Bari Lan, and it wasn't there. It says Sham, but maybe Shamshi was saying maybe it was written with 2 tufs and 1 tuff. I don't know. Fine. Roiv means the outside skin. I couldn't care less about the nerve system inside. That doesn't bother me. It doesn't make it trade. He sat in front of the Rav. First he checked the outside, then he checked the inside. If there's skin on the outside and it's not punctured, I don't care about the inside. If the nerve system becomes liquefied, that's a treif. Nismasmes, pasul. And also if it became soft, pasul. What does it mean? We have pictures over here, boys like geschmack. We'll give you an appetite. This is liquefied. Check this out, great picture. This guy is holding a spinal cord straight, but if it's soft, it's going to flop over. That is treif. What if it can't stand on its own because it's heavy, not because it's damaged? And one more line over here, maybe more. What do we have? Oh, we have 30 seconds. Not good. Now we're using a new lashon with a zayin. Nismazmez means that it emptied out on its own. Kosher. Some of the nerve system emptied out. It's kosher. An animal that its brain, that its spinal cord became nismazmez is treif. Says Gemara, you learned it wrong. In this masmas, if it lost a little bit, then it's kosher. If it became masmas means that it can't stand on its own, it became soft, then that's treif. Any Levi have Rabbi says story in a video. Listen to this. Levi was sitting in Beis HaMerchatz. Yav Yosef ben Masuso. Chazo Gavra, the Tayir L'Reish Nebach, a guy slipped on the water, banged his head right into the wall. Omar, this guy's brain just lost a little bit of his brain. So the Gemara says, Lav D'Leichai doesn't mean, he said it used the Zayin, and it seems like that he's not going to live. Why else would he say this? He's like, oh, Nebuch, this guy's not going to live. Or this guy's not going to be able to have children anymore. Why? Because he's got a bang in his brain.
Where we stopped 7 years ago.
What do you mean? Where we stopped?
Finished for the day. Yeah.
Really? You haven't? But we didn't have a video. Check this out.
Listen, they want to slaughter me tomorrow for a barbecue. I am not letting this happen. We made a promise to each other when we met that we'd build a family, have a son, and maybe he'll merit to be a korban in the Beis HaMikdash that should be rebuilt b'mheiro v'yameinu.
Amen. But what are we going to do?
I have a plan.
What did you do? Are you okay?
Excellent! I'm a trefo. I won't be kosher for them anymore. We can stay together and build a family.
You loin. Stop sleep on Daf Yomi shir. The maskana of the Gemara is that if Nit Malzmas Hamoyach, he is not a trefo.
No?
What a gon. Now you're an Eino Molid.
Have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.